Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and for today's video on Girls Frontline 2, we're going to be taking a look at the latest updates on the tier list for the game. It's been a while since I've actually looked at them, so I thought I'd kind of just do an update and kind of give my thoughts on where the units are. Now, it's not completely updated on Prudwin with Belka and Andrus for the global side, but I believe it has Nikita now. But it does have Voimastina for the CN side, so we'll be taking a look at where they've placed her. And then we'll also take a look at Loot and Waifuss, who's is updated all the way up to the Jiangyu updates with her new kit and where they've kind of moved her with the recent buffs she has gotten to her kit. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So we're on Prudwin right now. We are on General Global. And yeah, so Nikita is the latest one they've added. They currently have her as 0.5. Now, this one's taken into consideration V0. Remember, on the Prudwin tier list, at least I think on bossing specifically, they start taking into account like the important dupes, but they don't really seem to do it on the generalist side, only the bossing side. And so on here, of course, you've got Klukai still at the tippity top, being very good at the AoE on the generalist side. Because when you're not fighting bosses, it's more about just, you don't need to do a lot of damage, you just want to cover a large area. So you're going to have your ones that can do multiple attacks or big AoE. So you have Klukai there, Macchiato with her counterattack, so she can kill multiple enemies with the counterattacks. Kind of same thing with Jiangyu with her support attacks. Tololo with being able to go multiple times in a turn. Of course, you got the two best supports. Springfield and Vector still up there. Suomi still good as just the general. If you want to just throw your people out there and keep them alive, she can do that. Still is the best sustain in the game. But this is for general content, not as important. Anything can do the general content currently. Ultimately, bossing's where it matters. As you can see, yeah, they have Nikita right at the top, which is what I fully expect. And I do take into consideration her V1 because it is a pretty big power spike. I would still put her tier 0, even at V0. Now, she is below Tololo, in my opinion, at V2, which V2 is very easy to acquire on Tololo now. We've had so much opportunity with support tickets that with her and a V1, Springfield just annihilates boss on damage, surpassing Nikita. Now, Nikita does, if you got her to V6, surpass Tololo. Of course she could, which I kind of tested her out. If you watched my video on the last boss with her, she does insane damage at V6 when I borrowed her. So I have V6 Nikita, V6 Springfield with I think a V4 Tololo. Those three alone can kill the one boss we had here. So I mean, it makes sense for her. When it comes to Andrus and Belka on the global side, because we do not actually have Lena or Leva yet, they're going to be kind of bottom tier right now because we really don't have an electric team. I wouldn't say bottom tier, but tier 1 until they get like their core DPS with Leva and next supports, Jiangyu and Lena, that kind of put the whole team together. They're going to most likely be low on here, so we'll kind of have to see what happens at that, where they place them when they update it. On the general side, they have Voimastina added on. That she is the new Klukai in terms of general bossing, and she's better than everybody because she comes in and can clear a field immediately because she has an attack that happens as the battle starts. That's a giant AoE, and so you can win the match before it even starts, while Klukai still has to move across the map to kill them with her AoE, even if she does it in the first turn. Now, they both have the same problem every unit has, which is there's a lot of content that has enemies that have to spawn like 2 turns later. Those ones, she can't kill those enemies immediately, and then she's just as good as Klukai in that aspect. But yeah, absolutely a monster on that. And then we'll see on bossing here. So on bossing, oh, I did not expect Voimastina to not be... They're taking into consideration her V1. So they say for bossing, at V1, she's worse than Leva, Nikita, Jiangyu, Tololo, Elva, Springfield, Vector, Yuhi, and Andrus. And actually, I don't think I actually looked at where they put Elva on here. I didn't realize they put Elva at V0 all the way at T0. Pretty crazy. Now, she is kind of... she is the one that, like, elevates Ice to relevance, like bringing them up in the meta. So it does make sense. She's the ice equivalent of Springfield and Vector. So, I mean, it makes sense that she's here. And as you can see, Andrus is up at the top 2 at T0, which is why I said when it comes to my poll guide, why you should be polling for Andrus over Belka. Because you can see, where's Belka even on here? Now, they have not updated for Jiangyu yet. But they have her at the bottom. But look who else they have at the bottom, Belka. Her damage is just not there. And she's at like the same level as Mosin Nagant damage-wise. But Mosin Nagant is a standard unit. And she actually is pretty decent if you invest in her dupe-wise past V0 or past V4 and higher. And so you can actually elevate Mosin Nagant up if you get her dupes, which is possible to do because she's a standard banner unit. So pretty easy there. Of course, oh, I hadn't even seen where they'd put Belfide here. Yeah, I mean, she was the next free unit that came out that they just handed out. I didn't expect much out of her. And the physical team really doesn't need her. Now with Waifuss Tina, so it makes sense that she's going to be on the bottom. I mean, everybody's kind of where I would expect to be. Nobody really seems out of place currently. Actually, I kind of agree mostly with what I'm seeing here. I mean, it has been a while since I've looked at this tier list. But yeah, overall, pretty good. Waifuss Tina, though, pretty broken. I didn't expect them to put him. I guess she might be a little bit more less damage than him. But then again, she's a Klukai level. And you can see where Klukai is down here, investing heavy in dupes, and she's going to be a monster on the bosses as well. Very big DPS increase with her dupes, which then takes us to look at the Loot and Waifuss tier list, which I haven't seen in a while. They actually made a whole nother category for Waifuss Tina here. At OP, even at V3, you can consider her already a tier 0 character. Long live the queen. She can get to ridiculous levels of damage with a trio of V1 Yuhi, V0 Laney, and V6 AK-15 / Waifuss Tina herself. There will be no one else who can come close to her level for the next 2 years, so prepare your life savings for her. And so it's kind of what I've actually been doing is I'm actually starting to now skip units. I originally had the plan of polling for every single TDAL that comes out. But now I'm kind of picking and choosing, mostly just because I'm not really spending on the game anymore, so I can't really afford to do that anyway. But I'm conserving my redundant piece pulls for her, because I do think I want to try and push her up to V6 if possible. And then also get, like it advises, V1 Yuhi Laney and getting that whole physical team. She's so broken that she's just another Klukai. And just like Klukai, it's going to take a long time. If they power creep Waifuss Tina, it's just as bad as our creeping Klukai was, in that her V6 is just like impossible to pass up, like unless they really want to scale the enemies up to make something relevant for her to do damage to, because of how broken it is. But kind of a big one there. You have Klukai Springfield, of course, still tier 0. The big one I wanted to see on there is the latest update is Jiangyu, which they have moved up. I believe they had her down here at tier 3 or tier 4. And so they've moved her up to tier 2. So she's just like all the other supports here with Lena, Florence. Their rating system, they don't have a general purpose / boss. So they do move people down more. So as you can kind of see here, they do take in consideration of Waifuss Tina without heavy dupes on the OP side to be only at the tier 1 level. But at Jiangyu, at, I believe this one's just tier 0 equivalent, because, yeah, they don't have, the kind of the color coding they're using kind of dictates that. So this is a V0 Jiangyu at tier 2. And so they say, now that she's a good electric amplifier buffer, she has cleanse for stun and taunt, boost crit with her expansion key, apply defense down 2, which is good, and give defense pierce to the team. She can apply positive charge as stability boost and support. Yeah, she's got all the support stuff now. She's not a damage dealer per se, like she used to be attempting to do. Now she's just fully supporting the team. And then, yeah, she can reduce the enemy's damage, and she also has decent DPS at max investment, but it's still better than investing. And that's what I'm going to say when she drops for us, is she has good investment in her dupes, but if you're going to invest in dupes on the electric side, that is Leva. Leva is your Klukai, your Waifuss Tina of the electric team. So if you want to invest one for the meta level electric unit, that is Leva. But still, overall, like they said, better than she used to be, and she's not as important as Lena and Andrus. Lena is like, Lena and Leva go hand in hand together, and then Andrus is your sustain / providing buffs and specific conditions to help Leva out. So not as important those, but she is another supporter of that team overall, and going to be pretty much the best in slot outside of those two. So overall, pretty good. Definitely going to be a pickup if you're wanting to invest in the electric team. And that's pretty much it. I think I've pretty much covered everyone else on here in the past video, but it's because it's been like a month since I last looked at it. Now we will be having the latest unit they'll be covering her here very soon when she comes out. So I'll probably I'll take a look at the kit once we get the actual numbers on the new unit. Man, I'm forgetting her name. What is her name? That is the next one coming out for CN. Let me actually look here. Lewis. Yeah, that's why. It's kind of a weird name for me. Lewis, with their collab unit with the PNC. So she'll be actually coming out here soon. I will be covering her kit with all the numbers and how she's looking, and kind of give my thoughts on that when she drops. And then they said it would probably be a couple days of testing to showcase where they put her on the tier list here, and then I'll cover that as well. But that'll be it for now. Overall, looking pretty good. As we're accelerating, we're going to be getting these units sooner rather than later. So hopefully you are saving your polls for the specific element or T-Dolls that you want. But yeah, that'll be it. And if you like my content, if you can like, comment, subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.